Hallo Leute, ich bin Katja und ihr seht Deutsch für euch. Ich bin zurück from my vacation and I brought a little souvenir. I'm sick. So much so that in fact I forgot to press record the first time I started talking and then was kind of confused when my camera turned itself off after waiting for too long. So I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to give you some vocabulary on krank sein, being sick. So let's just jump right into it because I really don't have that much other stuff to say about the topic. So let's start with the most obvious thing, krank. Sick or ill, depending on where in the world you find yourself at the moment. Krank. There's also a noun that is derived from this. Die Krankheit, the sickness, the illness. Die Krankheit. Get down with the Krankheit! And there we have that k sound that everybody just loves to exaggerate so much. Then next up we have the common cold, der Schnupfen or die Erkältung. Der Schnupfen, die Erkältung. This is derived from the word kalt, which you already know means cold, and it also has a verb to go along with it, which is in fact reflexive. Sich erkälten, to catch a cold. Sich erkälten. There is a non-reflexive form of this, although it means something completely different. So, sich erkälten always means to catch a cold, and you can't say ich erkälte, because that would mean that you're turning cold. And that's kind of more concerning than just catching a cold. And then also, if you are already in the state of having caught a cold, you would be erkältet. So you don't always have to say, ich habe einen Schnupfen, I have cold. You can also just say, ich bin erkältet. Niesen, to sneeze, niesen. Der Husten, the cough. Der Husten. And just like in English, the verb is just the same thing. Husten, to cough. Husten. And if you want to cure that, you drink Hustensaft. Cough juice, literally, so cough syrup. Der Hustensaft. Die Grippe. Influenza. Die Grippe. Der Schleim. Slime. Der Schleim. Or also, a bit more colloquial, but also more commonly used for that which comes out of your nose, the very specific slime. Der Rotz. Mucus, I think. Der Rotz. And to catch that lovely stuff, das Taschentuch. The handkerchief. Das Taschentuch. And just like you say Kleenex, we say Tempo, which is also a company that just happens to sell these. Das Tempo. Die Nase hochziehen. To pull back. I don't even know how you say that in English, in fact. When you do this, that's die Nase hochziehen. Literally to pull up your nose. And the much more accepted way to do it, die Nase putzen. To blow your nose. Die Nase putzen. Lecker! And alternatively, you can also just call that sich schneuzen. I would say it's not used that much anymore, but that might just be regionally varied. And when that doesn't help any longer, you use Nasentropfen. This only exists in the plural, I think, so it's die Nasentropfen, but der Tropfen in its singular form is male, just FYI. But die Nasentropfen is that stuff that you spray up your nose when you're, when you say congested. Which, by the way, we call meine Nase ist zu, so my nose is closed. Or meine Nase ist verstopft. My nose is clogged. Meine Nase ist verstopft. Now, some lovely thing you have to consider when talking about this topic are your sinuses. Die Nebenhöhlen. From die Höhle, the cave. So, it literally means the side caves. Die Nebenhöhlen. Once again, very descriptive. Sich räuspern. To clear your throat. Sich räuspern. Das Fieber. Fever. Das Fieber. Das Thermometer. Thermometer. Das Thermometer. Watch out for, first of all, the t instead of the, and also the switch in emphasis. It's not thermometer, it's thermometer. Der Schmerz. Pain or ache. der Schmerz. And we combine that to, for example, der Kopfschmerz, headache, or der Bauchschmerz, tummy ache. And generally I think you use the plural forms of these more than you use the singular forms, so die Kopfschmerzen and die Bauchschmerzen. And then lastly, because you can't just leave that out when you're talking about being sick, die Übelkeit, nausea, die Übelkeit. It's also entirely possible to use the phrase that makes me sick in German, which is das macht mich krank. Although, like the English phrase, this is normally used to or said about things that are gross or appalling or just ugh, and not really sources of disease. That's it. Das war's. I'm going back to bed, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bis nächste Woche. Tschüss!